Welcome to Innovate presents Entrepreneurs in Tech. Today, we're delighted to have our guest, Caroline Sommer, who is an expert cellular health consultant. Caroline, pleasure to have you on the show. And for our viewers who might not be familiar with you, if you don't mind, give us an introduction and some insight about your background and expertise before we dive into it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Caroline. I'm part of an international integrative medicine community based in 74 countries right now. And our mission, with all the individuals, doctors, scientists, therapists, everybody, the mission is to help people regain their holistic health. Not only the physical one, but also that spiritual one, emotional, mental, and even sometimes financial, when this one is attacking the other part of health, right? So this is what we do, and I will explain you how we do that actually, but this is our mission. And for me, really it's a life and soul mission. So I'm very happy to share that with you today.
Oh, it's going to be extremely insightful and exciting. I want to dive into this, the whole holistic thing, the mental health, the physical health, and also involved in leadership and entrepreneurship. So we're going to talk about that. So let's start with leadership, entrepreneurship, and then from there we'll transition to mental health and physical health and holistic.
Yeah, absolutely. So my journey started a very specific way because my background is actually biology, but life being tricky, life sometimes push you, in other ways that you were not expecting. In August 2013, I went on vacation in Bali, which is in Indonesia, right? Fell in love with this island of gods. And 1 month later, Bob, we had quit everything from our previous life, house, jobs, cars, school, everything. 1 month later to settle there and without knowing, pretty much anything about it. And from there, this is when my entrepreneurship journey began because I get involved in real estate rental, luxury rental, and I opened my company based then in Hong Kong after that. And that's been, 10 years of my journey. Then we went global, not only Bali, with the years passing. But you know what? During the COVID era, obviously, like many, many people, I found myself without having any revenue and income for about 4 years, 4 years, yes. And during that time, I stepped back and I realized, wow, actually, this is not my mission. What on the hell am I doing here? I was feeling that I was no longer thriving. I was not in my happy place. And I was slowly falling into a depression, right?
In Bali, in Bali,
No, I was no longer based in Bali, but I was
I was
watching
gonna say.
Bali all the time. And yeah, so basically, I felt that that was not my life mission at that very moment. It's like I was awakening because this project was a project from my intellect and not from my heart. And this is a huge difference because those two guys got to communicate for you to be thriving and happy and efficient, etc. So I took a huge leap of faith in January 2024. I decided to close my company after 10 years, very beautiful, intense 10 years, without knowing what I was doing next. Right. But yeah, I'll tell you.
Wow. Yes, sometimes we do have to take a step back and look around. It doesn't mean that we wasted our time doing what we're doing, but it's pretty much, yes, I mean, it's really, I would say, a good advice. Really, taking a step back and look around and take a leap of faith. That's it. Sometimes you need to move on.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to move on. Things, it's not really working as well. Okay, it's pretty interesting. So your transition, obviously, to holistic and physical and mental health, all of that inspired by personal experience,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you're able to transition that to help yourself, and now you help others. Correct?
Indeed. Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, and tell us about more of that journey. How do you help others in their work, in their physical, in their emotional happiness, and because all type of people you come across and they come to you. Some of them were in in your your situation
Mm.
when you were before, and you wanted to get out of it. You felt like you were stuck, and how and you did it for yourself. So it's like, yes, I know what it feels to be stuck in a place mentally, not physically. It's all about mentally, I guess.
Yeah.
When you're stuck somewhere and you cannot move forward.
Yeah, so basically, once I took that decision to close my real estate branch, I was not knowing what to do next. I had no idea, right? But there's something that says when the student is already the master appears. And I think that's pretty much what happened because 1 month later, a lady crossed my path. She talks to me about the body's miracle molecule, which is called glutathione, and I've never heard about it. But my bio background came back so strong, and I put myself like crazy investigating for many months. And what I discovered really was like discovering Christopher Columbus discovering the Americas, right? Because this has such a huge potential for human health, right? So what happened next? I first put it in my body because I was having creating fatigue for more than 20 years. And when asked for me, that changed it all in just 2 days. This is when I knew that was the way for me to go. And then I decided to take that mission like full time, right? So that was how I did. So now, indeed, I do help not only individuals on their health journey, but also professional. Could be a health professional, could be sport professional, beauty professional, therapist. There is pretty much no limits because what we're doing is actually touching and helping 99% of the human population and even animals, by the way. So that's pretty extensive. Of course, I will be explaining that, deeper just after.
Caroline, what if, let's say, you said somebody's being stuck mentally somewhere and they seem like their life is not going forward? It doesn't matter how hard they try, how positive they are, how straight of a line they walk in and focusing. But what really preventing them from moving on is believing and hoping. So
Yes.
how wrong and dangerous is that, or is it, how people say it was hard, it was tough, it took me 10 years, but I'm sure it did some damage to somebody's, mental health and certain things in their body, on their mind, and they don't even know it. So how do somebody knows that, they really stuck, but they think that's part of the process, not being stuck. So there's two sides of it.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting question, which is, I think, at the same time simple and very complex. Again, as for me, I realized that that project, that real estate was an intellectual one, was not from my heart. So indeed, probably the best advice I could give ever is to listen to your heart, to your desires, to your intuition, because I'm pretty sure that your soul does know where you have to go. In in traditional Chinese medicine, they say that the soul already knows everything before we come to this life. And so that will be a matter of listening to yourself. Don't pay attention to what the people, even your loved one, could tell you, because probably they could say, no, no, please keep here because you're safe. It's all about getting out of your comfort zone at some point, and yeah, really listening to what your feelings are, your gut is saying to you, for example.
What if nobody from the outside telling you anything? Only you. So, nobody's pushing you to go that way or this way. It's only you. So how would you know your soul? Like, how do you kind of make that connection to your inner soul?
Yeah, probably I think that the best first step would be to try to stop the inner noise. You know, that little monkey, they call it, that is running around with a rope. So try to be centered. Try to take some time for yourself. Could be like in the nature, you know, really cutting yourself from the world, not a long period of time. But yes, being alone and listen to that silence, because this silence will give you some answers already. Life will give you some signs, some synchronicities. And this is very interesting because when you elevate actually your vibe by, you know, stopping to listen to your mental noise, right, then the life will be giving you some synchronicity, some signs. Could be like very tiny signs, even a message on somebody's t-shirt, you know, or a cloud that with a special shape. I think anything could be a sign that you could be like understanding and accepting. And then from here, the process starts to flow. But elevating your vibes, basically, that would be the best one. Because as long as you're vibrating very slow and low, then you cannot move to the next step. You're stuck indeed, like you said.
So what are you saying? Meditate in a way.
Yeah, meditate. You know, meditation is not a boring thing when you have to be seated and without doing anything for 10
No.
minutes. You could be like just walking into nature and listening to the birds. You know, you can even like being in that state of mind, doing your dishes. We don't care. That's just stopping to listen to this mental noise that we all have, you know, all the time. And being like, with inner peace. Try to find some kind of inner peace. Like in a tornado, you know, in a tornado, you always have this inside which is like so peaceful. That will be that, I think.
You know, it's interesting talking to you, and you have the knowledge about holistic healing for mental, physical, and health. How do you? I hear a lot about manifesting,
Yeah.
and it's something to do with that. What is the secret to really manifesting properly? People say, you know, from what I hear, repeat, repetitious. Is it? And people say because whatever you say, the mind believes. The mind doesn't differentiate. It's whatever you speak. But the mind is very powerful. The mind is really what keeps us human going. It's not like we have two different brains, one on top of the other.
Yeah.
It's one mind, one brain, and I control it because it's my brain. But what does it think? What does you know? How do you manifest? I'm just I try to kind of practice it myself. I'm like, how do you? To me, it sounded very intriguing, and I said, is it something a little bit way higher and more complex that are the way I'm thinking about it? Is it really you have to? Because they say once you manifest, things will start to go your way.
Yeah, yeah. So that's very interesting question because, as you say, we hear a lot about that, and I think the most important thing in that is preventing us basically to manifest properly is that without even noticing it, we are counter manifesting. How? With our thoughts. If you have even a very small thought of doubt passing through into your mind, basically this could already be like counter manifesting, right? And this is why it, as you say, it's very powerful. So it's like a gymnastic, right, of being super careful to our thoughts, like curate our thoughts. You know, that's not easy at the beginning because it's like all the time, it's normal way of being for human beings, right? And that's probably a difference with the animals. So, but yeah, this is what I've been learning about manifesting. If the single thought is like, oh no, I'm not able, oh no, how could I do that? I have no idea, I'm not enough, etc. Even if it's like a couple of seconds, you've cut the flow of manifesting and then you're back to ground zero in, you know, let's say. So we have to really be very, very careful with that, with the thinking and saying, obviously, right? Not only thinking, but saying. So everything that you want to manifest, you want to vibrate all this on the same level, right? You cannot be, for example, wanting to manifest money if when you go to the shop, you're telling all the time, this is too expensive to me. This is too expensive. No, no, no. I want
Well,
to.
I cannot afford it. I cannot afford it.
Yeah, because that is the typical example of counter manifesting, actually.
So you're saying then don't go to the shop. Is that what you're saying? In a way?
No,
So you don't.
no, you have to go to the shop. You have to buy, but maybe you don't say that. This time, yes, I'll do that. I buy that because I can do that, right? Even if you had to maybe not buy another item, for example, right? We have to be smart, and we have to outsmart our own brain. This is, very funny and very. Once you get the trick, then you keep going and you keep growing. But it's let me tell you, it's like a sport. It's like you start a sport or practicing. It's very difficult at the beginning, right? And you don't have instant results. You don't go once to the gym and you're like, already like full of muscles in just once. So that's the same with that.
So so manifesting it takes practice, but it cannot have not even an ounce of doubt.
Yeah,
Whether
if you want,
it's a
I mean,
business deal, whether manifesting for money,
yes,
manifesting for power, manifesting for money, for happiness,
yeah.
it cannot have not even an ounce. So it means that you would have to cut yourself from any outside influence that could bring in any negativity to your brain, such as social media, scrolling,
Yeah, you want to avoid that if it's not positive, productive anyway, right? Not
some
only,
positive, some negative. Yeah.
yeah, but then even if, I mean, we're not in a perfect world, we cannot cut ourselves, ourselves in a glass or whatever. But, between two same circumstances, the difference would be typically between how you deal with that circumstance, because those are the same, right? But how you deal with them emotionally, etc., mentally, will make all the difference. But they're the same. Yeah.
Very interesting. Let's talk a bit about the Bali experience that I hear a lot about Bali, a lot of influencers, a lot of entrepreneurs, young and old, all type of people from everywhere,
Yeah.
all walks of life. They sell everything, they pack their belongings or whatever they want to take with them and sell everything and start a new happy life in Bali. Is Bali the place to be for happiness, for serenity, for everything? As you said, the land of God, of the gods.
Yeah, that's the name of the island, the nickname. Well, I was there quite some time ago. I don't know what's the new phase of Bali because we've been having COVID in the meantime, etc. I've not been back, ever since. Bali is not perfect. I mean, you got to be prepared, for example, when you want to go to some place driving, instead of 10 minutes, be prepared that it could take 1 hour or even 2 hours, right? Because of
Because of the
the
traffic.
traffic. So you're with your car and you have like a million scooter around you, and it's on the left. You drive on the left, and each scooter you have the whole family from the spouse, the children, even the dog or the cat sometimes. So you gotta really be used to that. But what I loved in Bali is the vibe of it. I mean, in every street, you smell incense. Every little house has its own little temple, right? I mean, their smiles are bigger than their faces. I love their tradition. I love the beauty of the nature there. I love the music, they have. So I was really happy. Of course, the weather, except the monsoon month, obviously, is fantastic. But it's not all perfect. It's not, all good. Nothing is because it's yin and yang all the time. So, but some people tell that Bali is one of her chakras. I can't tell you if that's true or not, but you will not be the same once you've been to Bali. Whether
Wow.
you like it or hate it, you will be changed. This I can tell you.
Is it safe? Being living in Bali, is it safe?
When I was living there, it was safe. As I say, I don't know how it is now, but it was, yeah, it was pretty safe. And that will depend if you will go to very, very touristy parts, with all the tourists like drinking, etc. That's not the same that a wee village in the middle of the
Yeah.
island with locals, elderlies. That's different. That's like every country. But at that time, I
Yes.
was feeling safe, and I loved the sunset ceremony so much every day, actually. Yeah.
What's some of the Caroline, some of the challenges that you face dealing with some of the people that having, certain issues in life, whether it's emotional, love, whether it's physical appearance or financial or growth.
Yeah, so probably one of the biggest challenge, I would say maybe two of them. The first one is that we are not enough in numbers in the community yet to be facing and helping all those people suffering around the globe, because so many people are suffering, as you said, could be mental, physical, financial, or even all of that at the same time sometimes. So this would be the first challenge. The second one is that some people are not ready to be healed, that don't want to be healed. Why? Because the suffering is what they know and that's their comfort zone. I know that sounds very strange, but let me tell you, that's really what it is. And at the beginning, I was getting frustrated because I knew I could do something for this person, for example. And the person was like, no, I don't want to be healed. But you get to accept because everybody has its own path, its own journey, right? And you can't do anything for those people. But still, I'm happy because so many people are waiting for us with, arms wide open. So now we're focusing on the people that really want to help themselves, right?
Do you think that we do this to ourselves, human? We're greedy, so we want things. We want the material things. Then we want the easy and healthy and clean lifestyle, which don't go together, because we would have to work our behinds off for 24 hours a day to get whatever we want, materials, anything
Yeah,
materialistic, because we think it's happiness is about having a big mansion and a lot of money and cars and a million different outfits and all of that and jewelry. And then most of the time you don't even use 80% of it or 90% of it. And we want the holistic, healthy kind of lifestyle. And then we want love, and then we want certain criteria for love and certain things, and we have a checklist for it. And do we complicate things? We mix making it being, excuse me, making it is making money, or is it making it being healthy, making it being having somebody you love and they love you, making it. It's just, I think that we put too many things in the pot and we forget about the most important thing, and everything else could come and go. It doesn't matter, because you could be, you can have all the money in the world. If you're not healthy,
absolutely.
nothing. You would say, I would trade all of that just to be outside running or just biking. And I don't need none of this.
Yeah.
Just be able to breathe, to eat with my own hands that was given to me. And, not to be fed, not to be, you know, treated like an infant, you know.
Yeah.
And so, do we complicate things? Is life is a little more easier than this, and we put too many things in the pot, like a big collage?
Yeah, that's beautiful what you're saying. I would say that, a car or a luxury handbag or whatever will only last a couple of years in theory. But this body, which is your soul's temple, if you want to call it that
Hmm.
way, will last the whole life. So I think it's pretty simple to choose the priority when you understand that side of things. What will last longer? the handbag, the luxury car, or your body. So this is the first part of the response. And then I totally agree with you. I mean, I'm not sure who said that. If it was, I will not say it because I'm not sure. But anyway, there is a sentence that says, "A healthy person has 1 million dreams, but somebody who is unhealthy only has one dream, which is to be healthy."
Wow. Yes, very simple and very strong. And when you think about it, it means a lot. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. A healthy person have a million dreams, and an unhealthy person have one dream. Wow. I like it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So what should we do? How do we change this? How do we change this? Always the race. And now we have the race of AI.
Yes.
And money is even limitless now. There's not 100 million is nothing anymore, and a billion is nothing. Everybody talks about hundreds of billions. Like I can't even fathom that kind of money, and trillions. Something only was, something was just part of the math count. It wasn't part of reality. It turned out to be. It is part of reality. And do we need? What do we need all of this for? Advancement is great. Technology is good, but are we kind of sacrificing our future as human, our health, our how we meant to live and how we meant to interact, and how we are we sacrificing all of that for the sake of technology?
Yes, I would say probably. And you know what? In this very, very like contaminated world nowadays, you have so much, but so much like heavy metals load around us, toxicity around us. And what I do believe, Bob, and this is my belief, I'm not telling that's the absolute truth, but when people have heavy, high heavy metals loads in their brain, and this is metallic. So I think that they're no longer themselves because they cannot be connected to the universe to manifest, right, and to their own essence because it's cutting the connection. The brain is getting metallic. Do you understand what I mean? So I think the utmost priority for humanity right now is to quit, to take off all the toxins, all the heavy metals, every literally piece of shit, excuse me, the expression that we have in our bodies, to be able to thrive and to be able to change generations and generations. Because those heavy metals not only, I mean, cut the connection, but also are attacking our DNA, among other things. So that's compromising the DNA, that's compromising the generations to come. And if we want to stay humans, full potential, you have to be clean, the cells clean for all of that. And it's urgent. It's urgent because it's not normal that we have more and more tubal cancers, early dementias, premature aging, autism. It's not normal. They're trying to make a thing it's normal, but it's not. So it's
No,
high time that
no.
humanity reacts and get back to the roots of health. This is addressing the root cause and not hiding the symptoms with some chemicals. Because we're already surrounded by chemicals. The liver cannot cope any longer with all that.
And the funny part and the sad part is, oh, it's part of aging. Part of aging? No, I should be wiser, stronger, happier, and healthier as I get older.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be crawled up to how should I say, to an unfunctional machine or unfunctional human being, just scrolled up to nothing. No, this is wrong. I feel this is absolutely wrong, and it's a
Yes.
myth. Became a reality to us, and became because obviously all the toxins that we stuff our body with,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and the toxins doesn't have to be only food, and drinks, whether it's alcohol or whatever it is people drink, and all the manufactured food, plastic, and chemicals. We forget about natural way of living.
Mhm.
Also, the stress
Yes.
that around you, all of that really takes a 50, 60%. You heard of the people say,
Mm.
this person is so happy, he smokes and drinks and eats and never exercise, but they lived over 100 years. Just happy person, no stress. And stress
Yes,
kills people. What's the biggest killer? They say is stress.
it
Not
does.
bad food, stress.
Yeah, yeah, stress is a toxin. I mean, stress originally was only made to protect us from a life or death challenge, like, a wild animal or the like. But what became a normal is that stress is now chronicle. And what is chronicle is huge oxidative stress in the body, right? And triggers premature aging, as you said. So that's not normal. And I want to do whatever we can in the community to educate people, to explain that that is not normal. We are programmed, the body is made such a way that we should be living 120 years. This is the normal.
120 minimum.
120 years. Yeah.
That's minimum or maximum or minimum?
No, that should be the normal, the average, right?
The
A little
average.
more, a
Wow.
little less, but this is the
Okay.
normal average, right? 120.
Wow. I mean, so the normal should be above the normal, like 140. If the average should be 120, above average should be 140 then,
Yeah,
or
probably some people
150.
could manage that. Absolutely, yes. But we were.
So what's the key to that? What's the key to that?
Yeah, as I said, all the five major threats to human health, which are forever chemicals, pesticides and herbicides, heavy metals, toxins, vaccines, viruses, and radiations. Of course, stress, of course, as well. Radiation is about, you can have cosmic radiations, radon. This is not natural ones. You have 5G, 4G, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all that stuff. Everything is radiation. Nuclear, radiation as well, right? So yeah, those are the major threats to health that you cannot feel, you cannot see, you're not noticing. And this is why it's so dangerous. You don't realize. When you realize and you feel in your body something, it's already too late. You're ill, sick. A cancer, for example, in average, is like around 5 years preparation in your body before you can see it, and it's too late. It's already like on.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Caroline, what advice you have for everybody, for humans, to be happier and healthier? What's the simple steps that anybody could take to kind of get out of the place that they feel unhappy?
Yeah, so I will respond with the focus of cellular health, which is my specialty, obviously. So, as I said, the first step is to clean all cells, right? And to achieve that, we use the body's molecule, which is called glutathione. Each one of your cell produces it, but not enough compared to what's going on around internal toxicity and external. The liver, which is the organ producing the most, could not cope with the rhythm. And this is when it's the getaway, open getaway to all diseases and pathologies, be mental, physical, anything. So I would highly recommend that everybody right now goes on Internet Ally and looks for that molecule that I think you will be writing, glutathione, to
Glutathione.
elevate, yeah,
Yeah.
because 100% of pathologies, not me saying that, the scientists do, are linked to a low glutathione level in the cells. 100% of that. Can you
Oh,
imagine how big is that
glutathione.
information? But the thing is, you can't take it orally. It's destroyed in the stomach. So you need to bypass this. And what we have in our hands with this community, we have something world unique in our hands, which allows a sublingual absorption, which is the emergency route, right? And that way you have glutathione in all your cells in 70 seconds, only by swishing it in the mouth, 30 seconds. So that's the safest, most effective, and most efficient delivery method of glutathione as of today globally, right?
Wow. Huh. Glutathione, the most natural, I would say the only natural way.
Well, glutathione is endogenous, unlike all vitamins, etc., which are exogenous, like vitamin C is exogenous. That's the big difference. This is created by your body, but not enough, right? That's the difference, basically.
Hmm. Interesting. What's next for you, for Caroline?
Yeah,
What
my
is the
goal
future holding?
Yeah, my
Yes.
goal, is, as I said, expand this community to help, the maximum number of people we can. And as I told to my team, I won't be stopping, until my last breath, if universe or God or whatever you call it allows it, obviously, right? But this is my mission, and I won't be stopping because I don't want people to go through illness or sickness because this is not mandatory. It's not.
Amazing. Well, I mean, is there a book on the horizon?
Oh, that's a nice question. I've never thought of a book. Actually, I'm more in the lively oral tradition, let's say. But I'm not saying never. Who knows? I've never thought about a book actually, but that's a nice one. Yeah, I'll have a look.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. Hey, I'm on a flight all the way to Bali. I got 18 hours to get there. I need a book to read.
yeah, nice
That'll be a
one.
great piece of, yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Well, Caroline, I truly enjoyed it. A conversation I would say it could go on for long because this is a subject that I'm actually passionate about longevity, mental health, and physical health.
mm,
And longevity right now is one of the biggest businesses that a lot of investors on a lot of money being thrown into it,
yeah.
beside AI.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was seeing a graph about glutathione cells, and let me tell you, this is an external independent study, obviously, and by 2029, it's going to explode globally, but explode globally. And
Wow,
to
wow.
all, integrative medicine doctors, therapists, people listening to me and that feel like that connection with our vision and mission, please contact me and join us because we have so much work to do.
Great. Well, Caroline, it was definitely a pleasure having you on the show today. I truly enjoyed it. The interview was extremely insightful
Thank you.
and educational and knowledge and a lot of knowledge, a lot of interesting things.
Thank you.
Again, thank you for joining us today on Innovate Presents Entrepreneurs in Tech. Be sure to connect with us on social media. Till next time, keep innovating, stay curious, and stay healthy. Stay healthy, absolutely. And no negative thoughts in your mind. So the key word today is manifestation, as Caroline Sommer said, you know, zero, not even a zero doubt. It has to be extremely positive and stay away from anything that could really influence your negative thoughts. And things shall happen. Yes, hard work has to be part of it. You cannot just sit home and manifest all day.
Yeah, be the leader of your thoughts.
Yes, be the leader of your thoughts. Amazing. Well, thanks again.
You're
Truly
welcome.
enjoyed it.
Me too. Thank you, Bob.
If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to share. Innovate presents Entrepreneurs in Tech podcast. And if you're joining us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.